All right, so thank you for joining us. As you know, this is the Kenyon College Google Hangout for the KEEP program, the KEEP Scholars Program. And if you can, just let them know who you all are and what your role is in the program. If you're a student, a faculty, a staff member, and what year you did the program, your summer, the first summer you were a part of the KEEP program.
I don't think we're
Oh, wait, it's not real?
I'm double checking.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you have to.
Should we start over?
You go ahead. Tell us who you are, guys.
Are you going to block out what you just said? And this is live, so this is real. It's our first time, so bear with us.
Hi guys, my name is Lanice Beavers. I am a sophomore here at Kenyon, and I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm a double major in American Studies and Sociology, and I participated in KEEP in the summer of 2014.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I am a freshman. I haven't declared my major yet, but I plan on doing modern languages with Spanish and Arabic. I did KEEP as a student this past summer, the summer of 2015.
I am Professor Simon Garcia. I am one of the academic co-directors of the program. The other academic co-director is Yvonne Garcia. I'm in chemistry, she is in English. I teach the data analysis course, and she teaches the writing course.
Awesome. And my name, I am not on the camera because I'm one of the current program directors. I'm Monique Jernigan. And you may not see me next year. You won't see me next year unless I'm here for graduation because I am transitioning. But I am so excited to be here with our current students and some of our founding faculty members. On that note, Simon, can you talk to us a little bit about the history of the program, where KEEP came from, how you got yourself involved, and sort of how it's gotten to where it is today?
All right, where it came from. So it started in 2007, and it came from a different program, but I don't want to get into too much history, so I'll just start from there.
Absolutely.
Start from the beginning of the program. And it began then as a summer program for 12 students to take over the summer. Basically, it's the same courses that we teach now. They're intensive, they're rigorous. In 2011, I believe, we expanded it to take 24 students. So now we have 2 sets of courses going on throughout a 6-week summer program. I got involved my very first year at Kenyon. Basically, one of my colleagues, Paula Turner, announced at a faculty meeting, hey, we are starting this new program. We're taking this other program and turning it into the Kenyon Educational Enrichment Program. And she asked for faculty volunteers, and it sounded too good to pass up. So I joined on, and I got to be a part of creating the curriculum and teaching it.
Awesome. Well, Simon is definitely one of our standout faculty in the program, and I wonder if the students can speak to some of their positive experiences with the faculty for KEEP and during your summer experience, and if you still continue to build relationships in the fall and the spring and throughout your years here at Kenyon, or your semester for the first years here.
I really enjoy how welcoming and warm the faculty for KEEP are. It's really nice to know that you have professors that care about you, because I'm not a big fan of math, is what I'm going to say. But Professor Garcia actually made it really enjoyable. Because I just really loved color coordinating my graphs. I don't know why, but I was really obsessed with doing that over the summer. But I really enjoyed it. I'm not a math major here at Kenyon, or an English major at that. But whenever I see any of the Professor Garcias or any of the professors that taught me during KEEP, I always stop and I say hello and we have conversations.
And what about you, Brandon?
Oh, yeah, it was really nice. They're all very welcoming. I enjoyed how much time they really spent to get to know each one of us individually.
Mm-hmm.
Even in for office hours, and all the ones I had, they still say hi. I took a class with one of them this past semester. It was very nice, and they really work with you and they really sit down. It never felt and I guess they kind of felt like friends sometimes. It was more of a conversation than like a teacher student moment sometimes. They really worked with you, and I know I improved a lot with like my knowledge of like English and math.
So I'm interested. Why did you do KEEP? Why do you wish you would have did it again had you could redo it? Sort of tell us about that. I know some students are out there wondering, well, should I do KEEP? Why should I do it? I'm giving up my whole summer. It seems like. What are some reasons that made y'all say, yes, I want to do KEEP?
Well, before I did KEEP, I did another program here at Kenyon for high school students called Camp 4. And after I got accepted to Kenyon, my admissions counselor at the time told me to apply for this program. So I did. It was either that or get a summer job. And I was like, ooh, get paid to learn or get paid to do like manual labor. So I went with like paying to learn because I just really love learning. And I'm glad I did KEEP. I would definitely like do KEEP again. If I had to go back and make that decision, I would do KEEP over and over again because it's actually where I met a lot of my close friends. And I think if I didn't do KEEP, I would probably know them, but I don't think we would be as close as we are now. And I like love them to death.
Why'd you do it?
I originally, I didn't want to do it. I didn't plan on it, at least. My mom we were like looking at all the benefits from it. And she's like, I think this is really good. There's like the education, the monetary. And I was like, okay. I was like, I'm not going to get in. It doesn't matter anyway. So I did try on my application, and I was surprised and I got it. And at first I was like, oh no, 6 weeks of school before school starts. But then once I got there, like, I loved it. Like it definitely was challenging, and there were times I was like, oh, this is a bit tough. But just like Lenise said, like you meet some really cool people and you get really close. Yeah, like I still talk to all of my friends from KEEP. I'm really close with some of them. There's definitely stories you get to relate on another level. I think it also kind of helps like break the ice a little bit. You get to go in knowing some friends. Like I didn't know anyone else who was coming to Kenyon, so at least I went in and I have someone to like talk to during orientation or sit with. And you already know the campus a little well. Like some people asked me if I was a sophomore just because I knew where a building was. I was like, no. But I definitely loved it. It was a great experience. I learned like a lot, definitely so much from it. I don't do it again.
Awesome. Simon, I wonder if you can speak sort of, because you've been here to see several students throughout many summers and to see them grow into the students that they are today. I mean, can you talk to us a little bit about what a KEEP scholar is to you? We think about sort of that model student and sort of how being a part of KEEP has truly helped them throughout their 4 years here.
Okay, wow. There's so many case studies I can point to. In fact, before I came here at 4:15 Eastern Daylight Time, I was in an honors presentation to see one of my advisees. So honors at Kenyon involves writing a thesis and working on a project for an entire year, although often it starts years before, with a faculty member. And so one of my advisees, who is herself a keeper, she's graduating this year, just presented about 3 hours ago and gave a really outstanding presentation of her work. I'm going to try and remember what it was called. I think it was called amino acid decarboxylase systems, and then there are like 2 other sentences after that. But it was pretty advanced stuff, and I got to see her start from a very timid, shy, not very what's the word? Not very confident student starting out with KEEP, working on her projects in both the writing class and in the data class, and doing some work that was her own, right? Work that she owned and could show her excellence in. Because before that, she'd always been taught not to like show too much of herself, and she really came out in the coursework for both programs. And that just continued throughout her 4 years. Every year she just did more, got better, just amazed more people, did more amazing things. So that's like one of many experiences that I can point to. I go on, but I don't want to I want to take a break and allow Jonathan
Yeah.
to introduce himself.
Jonathan, he just joined us from a student organization event, so he's probably out of breath. But Jonathan, introduce yourself and tell a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Urea. I'm a first year from Mesa, Arizona. Potential international studies major with a Latino studies concentration. Something about like KEEP.
Yeah, like what year did you do KEEP, and why did you decide to do KEEP?
Okay, I did KEEP this past summer, so still kind of fresh. The reason I did KEEP was at first, when I found out about the program, I got a phone call. They're like, hey, you've been selected to do this. And I was like, okay, I don't really know what this is. So I went online, looked it up, and I was like, okay, I don't want to spend 6 weeks of my summer at Kenyon, like before, like I'm going to miss all my friends. But when I actually thought about it, coming from like the other side of the country, I thought about it and I was like, you know what, this is really good. It's a really good program that I should probably take advantage of, because coming from Arizona, like I didn't know anyone coming to Kenyon. So I thought this would have been like a really great opportunity to meet a lot of other students that would be in the same stage as transitioning into Kenyon. Meet a lot of faculty, different resources on campus, get to know the campus before orientation in August, meet some of the best professors at Kenyon. So like now when I like see them walking around, or like if I have class with them, I feel comfortable going to their office hours or just talking to them, when I know there's like other students at the beginning of the semester, they're like, oh, he scares me. They're like, they seem kind of intimidating. But like once you get that connection with them, like one-on-one connections, because the class sizes are really small, 12 students per session. So you get to know your professors very well and they get to know you. So I think it's just a really great like academic and like social opportunity to take advantage of.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So I'm hearing a few things that some of y'all touched on. I know for one student you mentioned the monetary side. So there was a stipend involved. I know someone mentioned office hours. I know students are probably curious about what are office hours. And I know another person was mentioning just to build your relationships. I wonder if one of you can tag one of those and just talk about, you know, what are office hours? You know, why are they important? Why are they valuable? And someone can also talk about those other pieces that I just mentioned. But I'd love to hear from anyone over there.
Office hours in the sense, like in the general sense of the.
Yeah, like I'm sure that some students may not know what they are, and yours that was mentioned. So what is that? And why was it valuable for you?
Office hours, basically at Kenyon, professors are required to have office hours throughout the week. And a lot of professors, if you can't meet them during that time, you can schedule an appointment and meet them like when they don't have regular office hours. But it's a time to ask clarification for things you may not understand in class, or on an assignment, or for like a review of a exam or a paper. And sometimes it's just a way to get to know your professor. One of my advisors, whenever she is actually teaches her intro class, I sit in her office because I have class in the same building during the next class period. I just sit there, and sometimes I just take a nap, or I do work. Lately, it's been me taking a nap because I'm retired. But it's just a nice way to get to know who your professors are, and for them to get to know you. Hello.
We're sitting in Lynn's house, which is one of the popular buildings for the KEEP program, where the writing program happens. And there's a class coming in, so some of the students are seeing some of their friends.
Adding on to like the office hours, I know my last semester, my sociology professor told our class, well, because like a lot of your classes, like into like your final grade is incorporated is participation. Roughly like it goes from like 10%. One of my classes is like 25% participation. So making sure you participate in class is very important. But my sociology professor made it clear. He was like, if you guys don't, because the class was it was discussion based. So he was like, if you guys don't feel comfortable like speaking in front of everyone, especially at the beginning of the year when you don't know anyone, like everyone's new to you, he's like, if you come to my office hours, I'll count that as participation. He's like, I just want you guys to feel comfortable coming to me if you don't feel comfortable speaking in class. And then he's like, I can work with you one-on-one, and then from step by step, like, oh, first you start off by asking questions or clarification, then you can start putting in your own like ideas or examples you might have to share with the class. So I think just going to office hours is just a open space that professors have in their schedules. Like my other sociology professor, she literally tells us, please come. I just want to talk to you guys. It doesn't even have to be about my class. Just come and talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
So like they literally set out time for the students to go and talk to them. So I think it's very important to like take advantage of the time your professors put out for you to go and see them.
Thank you. And Simon, you wanted to answer?
I thought I could give the instructor's perspective on office hours. Just this morning, I held office hours, and I can give you a rundown of what people came in to my office hours for. So I should clarify by saying that office hours are drop-in. So we have set hours where students can just drop in for no reason. They don't have to announce it, but they can also just schedule appointments with me at I won't say any time of day, but students have been very creative in what times they've asked for. But so this morning, my first meeting was with a student who simply wanted to look over an exam and work through each question and just find out what she got right, what she got wrong, how could she do it better. So we talked about that for about half an hour. Another student wanted actually kind of a quick, she didn't really know what she wanted, but after talking with her about some of her questions, I realized that what she needed was a tutorial. Just sit down, take one problem, and we'll work through it together, just side by side. And that did a lot for her. It really helped her understand how to study for the exam that's coming up. Then after that, a student came in. She's a senior. She's graduating. She is in the REACH program, which we haven't talked about, but that's another program run by the ODEI. But she has gotten into graduate school at one place, but also gotten a job with another university. So a job working there, not necessarily going to school. And she wanted some advice on which one to pick. And so this is basically, she wanted to talk about a decision, but it really turned into a conversation about her career, about the next 4 to 5 years of her life and how to kind of build a strategy for how to kind of launch her career. Was it better to do some graduate school straight away, or was it better for her to do some work first and then defer graduate school for a year and then come in with some work experience? So we debated that, and we had about an hour that we talked about it, because this was her life, after all, that we were talking about.
Yeah.
And I could go on, but I think that's enough. That just gives you a slice of the kinds of things students will ask for. It's really quite varied.
Yeah, and I think that's really important for you all to know, as you think about, who you're going to connect with on this campus. Your faculty are sort of the pillars of those people that you're going to connect with, your peers that you see in front of you. And, those relationships can go from something as simple as, like you said, a question for a test to things about life in graduate school. I mean, professors are really here for you for all of those things, and definitely a resource that I would definitely encourage you to tap. And so for those who are just joining us, I just want to remind you all to tweet us questions. If you have questions for individual students or for our faculty, tweet us at Kenyon Admission. So if you have any questions, again, that's at Kenyon Admissions. Go ahead and tweet us some questions, and we'll see those and go ahead and let you know. All right, looks like we have a quick question. So what are the extra opportunities that a KEEP student receives after the summer program?
You automatically get put into REACH, which stands for realizing each other's ability to conquer the hill. Recognizing. I'm sorry. Recognizing, realizing, semantics.
I'm about to give you
and it's a peer mentoring program, so you get matched up with an upperclassman who basically helps guide you as a first year through like the avenues of Kenyon. Brandon is actually my mentee. I think we're a fabulous pair. But it's like one of the avenues that KEEP helps provide. And it also, with this program, you get to know a lot more people on campus, and a lot more trips are provided. And KEEP also, throughout the year, they will host workshops to navigate certain
college.
Yeah, just to navigate college, because college is hard.
Like workshops, like what kind of workshops? Like what? Give me some others, or Lenise, what sort of workshops would students may want to attend?
There's a time management workshop. There's a workshop on how to navigate the CDO, which is our career development office. Those are only two I can really remember.
Some of the ones I attended were like resume building. Even though like you need like a resume to get into Kenyon, like your high school resume compared to your college resume is a completely different thing. So really glad I went to that. There's also how to write cover letters, because throughout even like if you're not applying to like a outside like internship, just like a job on campus, like they ask for cover letters. So I needed help on that. So I'm really glad I went to that. There's also what else?
Well, just like the social events we have too, just to kind of get together and like get to know each other and get to like really bond as like a group, and like that's what I got a lot, and like especially like the mentor mentee, that's helped me a lot this semester. Like Lenice has been wonderful. And,
that's rough.
Like, like it's even more than just academics. It's just like they just ask like, how are you doing? Are you sleeping? Are you eating? She's really helped me with organization. Like I'm terrible with it, and she's helped me be less terrible. And it's just like that. Like we become best friends through it, and just have a good time.
And Simon, I wonder if you can talk, because I know some of the students who were involved in KEEP who were maybe more STEM majors were able to meet faculty over the summer and get into their labs, and so that sort of influenced where they are now. And I think Amanda was one of those students who early on made some connections and were able to capitalize on those. And so can you talk about what else students could do after the summer program?
Yeah, so just to follow up on the workshops, I'll just tap my own on how to ask faculty for letters of recommendation. Not just ask, how to get good letters of recommendation, because they're like one of the many documents you have to submit when you apply for a job or for graduate school. And one thing that often students don't realize, well, you probably do realize it applying to college, but if you didn't realize that it still applies, is that they can be make or break. A good letter, a bad letter can help you or it can sink you. And one of the great opportunities at Kenyon is that you have faculty who, I mean, I don't want to brag, but writing.
Brag, go ahead.
Writing is part of our job, and we are really good at writing, particularly about our students, our wonderful students, and how well they do. So we really advocate for them. But I show you in my workshop how to advocate for yourself to your instructors so they can advocate for you better later on. So that's just one thing. The other advantage is advising. So every student at Kenyon gets a faculty advisor in addition to other types of advisors. And those advisors help you with choosing classes, but it's not just choosing classes. It's also deciding how your classes line up with your career goals, with your long-term goals, what you want to do in the future. So try to make that all to be a holistic, is that the word I want to use? Yeah, a holistic process to make sure that you're thinking about every aspect of your life and of your person. So KEEP students in particular have the option to get an advisor whom they have already met through the KEEP summer experience. And, you know, again, having any faculty advisor is going to be beneficial, but having a KEEP faculty advisor means that you have someone who understands what you've been through over the summer, and who understands that, you know, you are a potential ally, right, in making the campus a much more open place, a place that is much more rooted in excellence and academic leadership. The third thing I want to touch on is what Monique mentioned, was what you can do outside of the class after KEEP. So if you are interested in STEM, so STEM is an acronym meaning science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It also includes, here at Kenyon, we also kind of include neuroscience and economics and psychology and anthropology.
Okay, well, we are going to transition to the classroom. I do apologize, Simon. We're going to come right back, but it looks like one of our faculty, Professor Yvonne Garcia from the writing team, is going to hear a little bit about one of her classes, and we'll come back to y'all.
All right, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being with us. I am Professor Yvonne Garcia. I am the faculty co-director of KEEP. So if you decide to apply to KEEP, you're going to have classes with me. And these students, who are my students this semester, can tell you that that is a wonderful idea. So why don't we go around the table and introduce ourselves, and then we will move on. So Colleen, if you would be so kind.
Hi, you can't see me, but my name is Colleen. I'm a sophomore from New Jersey. Sorry. I'm a sophomore from New Jersey, and I'm an English double major, and I'm on the cross country and track team. And I use female pronouns. Okay.
Hi, I'm Sarah. You can sort of see me. I'm a sophomore English major from Los Angeles, California. And I also use female pronouns.
Hi, I'm Nick. I'm a sophomore English major from San Diego, and I use he, him, his pronouns.
Hi, I'm Emma. I'm a sophomore English major from, sorry, what? Okay. Hi, I'm Emma. I'm a sophomore English major from East Greenville, Pennsylvania, and I use she, her, hers.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm a freshman English major from Charleston, West Virginia, and also use she, her pronouns.
My name is Caroline. I'm a senior anthropology major, religious studies minor from Bethesda, Maryland, outside Washington, D.C., and I use she, her, hers.
Hi, I'm Amy. I'm a sophomore English major from Dublin, Ohio. I did KEEP, so you guys can do it too. It's really great, and I use she, her, hers pronouns as well.
Hi, future keepers. My name is Sebastian. I'm from New Jersey, born in Ecuador. I did KEEP as well. I'll be the KEEP data analysis teacher's assistant this summer, and I was the teacher's assistant last summer. I'm a sophomore biology major with an English minor. It's great to see you.
Hi, I'm Isabella Bird. I'm from San Juan, Puerto Rico. I'm going to be Unity House co-manager, a peer counselor, and the UCC next semester, so hopefully I'll get to meet a lot of you. And I'm also going to be the KEEP English TA with Brendan Lee for this year's KEEP cohort, so that'll be fun. Also, I use she, her, hers, and they, them, theirs pronouns.
I'm Brandon Lee Cruz. I'm a freshman. I'm from Hartford, Connecticut. I'm an English major. Like she said, I'm going to be the KEEP writing TA. I am the junior one. So it's my first time doing KEEP as with the rest of y'all. Next year, I will be the Snowden co-manager. So I'll be hosting a lot of events there. So come down and do it. I'll be making lots of food. So if you like food, come down and chill with us.
What's up? My name is Sean Harris. I'm a sophomore English. My name is Sean Harris. I'm a sophomore English major from Chicago, Illinois.
Hi, I'm Karen from Arizona. I'm a sophomore English major, and I also did KEEP.
Hi, I'm Ken. I'm a junior. I'm a junior English major from San Francisco, California.
Hi, I'm Rob Recio, senior psychology major, and I'm also a former keeper, and I'm from New Jersey.
Hi, I'm Alex Gonzalez. I'm a senior biology major, Japanese minor. I also did KEEP my freshman year, and I went back and I was a data TA for a summer. Hi, I'm Sam. I'm a sophomore English and music double major. I use she, her, hers, and I'm the Queer Women's Collective co-leader.
Hi, my name is Edgar Martin. I'm a junior political science major, concentration in law and society, and a minor in English. I was a keeper, and next year, Sebastian and I will be the co-presidents of Adelante, the Latinx student organization.
Hello, I'm Becky. I'm a sophomore English major, concentration in creative writing. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I use she, hers.
Very good. So what we wanted to give you was an opportunity to kind of see us in action in the classroom, right? So tonight, I don't know if you can see the board or whatever this is, the screen. My class is called, it's an English 284, which means it's a 200 level English class. It's usually for sophomores and first years, but this class, as you can see, has juniors, seniors, first years, and sophomores. And I think that really enriches the experience. Also, the fact that there's so many keepers is pure coincidence. We didn't do this for you. So they're actually in the class. The title of the class is Demons, Great Whites, and Aliens Representing American Fear. I teach this class every couple of years. And what we do here is look at American fear, the concept of American fear. We've done The Exorcist, we've done Jaws. What else have we done? The Haunting of Hill House, Salem's Lot, Carrie, Gone Girl, Twilight. We've seen the werewolves fighting the vampires in Twilight. What else have we done? The Walking Dead. We did The Walking Dead just a couple of weeks ago, right? So let me just give you an idea, right? This is a class that runs from 7 at night to 10 at night. I have had a full day of work because I'm a full-time administrator. I'm associate provost. So I come here and I am dead. These students are like on fire. So I have to be on fire, and we are on fire until 10 o'clock, and I have to say, okay, we're done. And then everybody's like, no, let's keep going. And I'm like, no, we need to go. So that's sort of like the kind of experience that you will have at Kenyon and that KEEP will prepare you for, right? So the idea is that you will come to KEEP. We will really challenge you the way that the Kenyon classroom will challenge you, but you will be familiar with that challenge and you will have learned how to cope with it. So we're going to give you a little bit of a taste of what a kind of seminar class would be like, what you would experience in the class that you would take in KEEP by starting our discussion. And so we finished last week with Gone Girl. I can't see you, so I don't know, I can't ask you like how many of you are familiar with Gone Girl, but hopefully a few of you are. But so anyway, so Gone Girl, we did the novel and we did the film. So one of the questions that I had for the class is, and then what we're going to do is we're going to finish with this novel, A Head Full of Ghosts, and Alice is going to take us through a presentation. So every student does an oral presentation in my classes, and you will also do an oral presentation at KEEP. So you will learn how to do that. You know, if you come in the fall, you won't be surprised when a professor says, you know, you have an oral presentation, because you'll know exactly what you need to do. So in Gone Girl, one of the things that I wanted us to talk about today was the narrative structure, right? So one of the things we just did, just so you know, is we went to the Gone Gallery and we looked at an installation. And it's an artist installation where we saw a reproduction in wood of a TSA checkpoint. And what we were trying to think about was, how does that relate to the ideas of American horror and American fear that we've been talking about all semester long? And so one of the things that we talked about in that installation was form, right? Structure. How does the artist choose to put the art in a diorama, for instance? Okay? So one of the things I want us to talk about, and I want you to notice that in the Kenyon classroom, I'm not going to lecture, right? If I came here and lectured for 3 hours, I would be bored to death, okay? So I don't lecture. I want everybody to participate, and everybody participates in the making of meaning. And I learn from the students, I hope, as much as they learn from me. So one of the things that I want to talk about is the structure of Gone Girl, the novel. So what can we say on the basis of what we studied this semester about the structure of Gone Girl? What decision does Gillian Flynn make about the structure of the novel that we should pay attention to? And we're on camera, so yes, Caroline.
She makes it somewhat chronological.
Very good. So she's making it chronological. What else is she doing? Yes, Emma.
She has Amy's diary entries, which we later find out are fake.
Excellent point, Emma. Excellent point, Emma. So I want to stay here with this notion of the diary entry. Why? Why not letters? Why a diary entry?
Yeah, it gives the notion that there's nothing to hide, that it's a personal.
Why?
Because it's not for anyone else but Andy.
Because the audience of a diary is supposedly yourself. Oh, okay. All right, everybody scream. Okay, so randomly.
I'm kind of going off of that, and I'm saying that, we find out that it's fake later. It's loud enough. All right. We find out that it's fake later, right? And I think what's really interesting about that is that, horror, dives itself into the unreliable narrator, as we saw with Edgar Allan Poe, right? And there's something so uneasy about that. We talked about horror diving inside this cognitive estrangement, right? This familiarness, right? We're usually reading text in which, in first person, we're usually believing everything that they say, right? So when somebody lies to us, we're going off, and it increases this amount of terror and anxiety.
Excellent. So one of the things, and I'm going to move to the board, right? And I'm coming to you, Isabella, in a second. But one of the things that we have thought about the entire semester is the notion of the unreliable narrator. And one of the things that we end the semester with is possibly with two of the most unreliable narrators we have had all semester, right? Because we see in Gone Girl, right, that she has lied in her diary. That she has actually created a diary that is years long to lie, to frame her husband. So that's narrator number one. And then the narrator in A Head Full of Ghosts, by the end of the novel, we are completely thrown off in terms of what we are supposed to believe happened on the night or on the day, including the exorcism, and then because of the death of her parents, right, and of her family. Isabel.
Isn't it also kind of an example of the uncanny in the sense that like you take something like normal, like a diary, which you would just like
nice
read.
So it defamiliarizes.
It like almost perverts the idea of what a diary is, which is like an honest like outpouring of emotion, and it turns it into like the opposite of what it's supposed to be.
Excellent point, right? So it defamiliarizes us from the structure of the diary, from the sort of narrative genre, right, of the diary, and it makes us then feel like, whoa, we have to doubt this diary. Whereas the whole purpose of the diary is to reveal our innermost feelings. So that's a pretty powerful addition that Flynn has given us in this class in terms of text, right? Because we haven't seen before somebody who's taking a genre that is known for its trustworthiness, right? Diaries are used by historians, right, to create history. The diaries or chronicles of people, right? And Flynn is saying, well, watch out, right? Because people might lie in their diaries, right, Jackie?
I also think kind of to build on that idea of like the uncanny, but what the diary is doing, it's kind of also in the same way that it's destabilizing our perceptions of the diary as like a form, it's also destabilizing our perceptions of Nick as a character, both like maybe whether or not he murdered his wife or like whether or not he's an abusive husband, but then like how like trustworthy he is as a person in general.
Right. So the perceptions of all of the characters, but specifically Nick, because he is our suspect, right, for a long time, for at least half of the novel. Nick is our suspect because of her fake diary, right? Edgar, did you have your hand up?
I just want to say that the diary also functions as I want to say meta-narrative, but a narrative
in what way?
A narrative within a narrative is that there are multiple stories going on at the same time. That the diary is one perspective, the media was, I'm not using the
No, I'm gonna, keep going.
But the diary functions as one story within this. And then you also have the news media that creates its own story of the events that occur. And then Nick has his own story as well. And then we end the novel with them both creating their own stories of the events. So ultimately, there were so many different perspectives.
Very good, right. And so I think that what we would be thinking here is metafiction, right? So that the diary becomes metafictional because it's aware of itself as a text. It is aware of itself as a narrative, right? And so the novel makes it metafictional because we believe it first, but then we do realize, no, it's a fabrication, right? It's a text that knows it's a text and has that purpose. Okay, very good. So let's turn to the ending. Did you want to say something else? Okay. So let's turn to the ending and think about what does the ending mean. If you didn't bring the novel, please share with someone else. So what happening by the end of the novel? What's happening? We are on page 408 and 409. What's happening by the end of the novel? Yes, Nick. Jackie.
Well, by the end of the novel, the two of them are kind of agreeing to put on a false front of a happy marriage, kind of almost like circling back to this idea of like the uncanny kind of marriage in a way that there's something that it's everyone thinks they're happily married, except the people are kind of closest to it, but even they can't do anything about it.
Excellent point, right, Jackie? So one of the things that I wanted us to think back to was the notion of performativity that we have mentioned in this class, right? Judith Butler's theory that gender is performed, that we perform gender. And so this book, I think, really takes that to heart. And there's not just a performance of gender, a very profound performance of gender, and I think Hina did a great job at showing us, right, how self-conscious this book is about both masculinity and femininity, but it also is a performance of a marriage, exactly as Jackie is suggesting, right? They're performing the heteronormative ideal of a marriage. But there's more going on here at the end. What else is going on? What else is going on? Emma?
Well, they're both writing books.
Very good. Excellent.
Amy's writing a memoir called Amazing.
Yes. Yeah, and she's so humble, right? Amazing. That's my thought, yeah, right?
And then Nick is writing a book that begins with I'm a cheating, weak spine, woman feeling coward, and I'm the hero of your story.
Yes.
So,
which I would have wanted to read. I'm not so interested in Amy's Amazing. It's like, what else? But that I think he would be restored as a writer with that beginning, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so why is that important? Why does Flynn give us two people who, at the end of her narrative, are both writing books? And if you don't know that that's going to dovetail beautifully with A Head Full of Ghosts, you haven't read A Head Full of Ghosts, right? Why is that significant? That we are dealing with writers. They're both writers by profession, and they decide at the end to deal with their murderous relationship, right? Through writing. Why, Sam?
I think they both think that they have their own version of the truth.
Okay, good.
And that they both see themselves as the protagonist.
Very good. Very good, right? So they're turning their life story into a sort of narrative structure. They are the protagonists of their story. They want to be the hero of their story, right? So they're using convention, right? They're using literary convention to create themselves to the masses, right? To the people who are going to read their books. But what else do they create at the end of the novel? Yeah, Jackie?
A child.
A child. And we know that in horror, a child means what? I was like, nothingness, right? What does this child mean? We have 1 minute, so in like 30 seconds, we're going to say goodbye to you. But yeah, what does this child mean? Yeah, Nick.
This is the game about the future.
Very good, right? So we know that in horror, children, right, represent the future. So are we ready to say goodbye? All right, everybody. Thank you. I hope you play the key so you can get some more of this. Have a good night.
Hey y'all, I'm sorry, we are back. We had the mute button on, forgive us. We're back again with Jonathan, Professor Garcia, Brandon, and Lanice. Before we begin, we have a couple of questions, but before we begin, we'd like to sing a happy birthday song to Professor Garcia.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Professor Garcia. Happy birthday birthday to you.
So I think that just speaks to the dedication that our key faculty have for this program. I'm like, you're working on your birthday and you're working this late. Yeah, we love you. But we have a couple questions from some viewers on Twitter. So again, if you haven't followed us and asked your questions on Twitter, again, that's at Kenyon Admission on Twitter. Excuse me. So one of the questions from Kara_Janelle is, does Kenyon help with any connections for future job opportunities? Anybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the fact that you're a Kenyon student will open so many doors for you. That's what the CDO is here for, the career development office, is that they'll get you in contact with a lot of alum. And then we have an alumni network that you can get in contact with alums that either like live in your city or are in the same field that you're thinking about going in and go through that. I already have an internship for the summer working at the Botanical Gardens in Cleveland. But one of the alums that I met over winter break in my education class called me and basically tried to offer me an internship. Is still trying to offer me an internship just because she knows I'm a Kenyon student and like the type of work I'm able to accomplish. So, that might work out, it might not, who knows.
And what about y'all? Do you feel like it's helped with any connections for future job opportunities or even internships for some of y'all that aren't necessarily looking for jobs?
Yeah, definitely. Just like Lanice mentioned, the CDOs, just like professors, they want you to come and see them, like, no matter what. Like, just to say hi, just to, like, plan, like, what you're thinking of, or, like, what kind of internships or summer programs you're trying to do. So I think it was, like, a month ago, I just went to the CDO. I was on Simplicity, which is the online job portal where you can check all the on-campus employment or off-campus employment. So I was just like, I had some free time just looking through there, and then I saw one. It was for a conference in Columbus, an all-day conference for JP Morgan Chase, and I was just like, oh, okay. Like, I looked at the application, I was like, I don't really know what this means or like what are the requirements. So I just went and made a meeting with one of the CDO administrators. She's like, oh yeah, sure, come in. And then she just went through like the whole, like, what the application process would be, when I would get a notification, and then it was like pretty simple. And then once I did that, like, I got an email, confirmation email. They're like, you're accepted. And I was like, whoa, I was not expecting it. I was just applying just to see like what's like the whole process of applying. So once I found out, I told her like immediately. She's like, I'm so happy for you. She's like, let me know when the dates are. And then she arranged a Kenyon vehicle because it was in Columbus. She's like, I'll arrange a Kenyon vehicle. We'll get you there, pay for everything, lunch, dinner on your way back. And I was like, whoa. And then once I got there, had an amazing time. And then going off of what Lanice said about connections, one of the JP Morgan Chase intern administrators is a Kenyon grad. So once we first got there, we introduced ourselves and where we were from. And then I said Kenyon College, and then like she's like in the back, and she's like, "Woo!" And I was like, "Who? What? Who are you?" And then she was like, "Okay, we'll talk after." And then like after, she like gave me like her contact info. She's like, "Just let me know when you're looking at the internships for the summer or for next year, and I'll keep you in mind for when the applicants come in." So Kenyon does offer a lot of opportunities, especially just because you are a Kenyon student.
Oh yeah, that's very true. Even just like, sorry.
You don't have to answer.
I don't know. They did a really good job. I just know like even like applying for like jobs like during the summer just to like work. I've had like people like even if they didn't go to Kenyon, they know Kenyon. I was surprised because like I didn't know Kenyon that much as like a high school student, but they're like they understood like what kind of college this was and what kind of institution. So like they know what you can accomplish and they'll really take that in consideration.
Yeah, it's always you go to Kenyon? And like, yes, I do.
Yeah. And I went to a large public school for my undergrad, and so some of my friends went to Wabash College and some other liberal arts colleges. And I think I definitely see the difference in terms of the education level, just the preparedness that the students are here. And even like thinking about if they're going to go to graduate school, a lot of graduate schools are looking for students that came to and went to Kenyon, students who are able to articulate themselves through writing, orally, all of those things that Kenyon is preparing them for. And I just think the KEEP program sort of reinforces that because it allows students to get that early experience and get them very prepared for the rigor that is Kenyon. And then you do it with loving and supporting people like our faculty and like our students around. So definitely a lot of connections working with Kenyon. So there's another, or through Kenyon, excuse me, there is another question, and it is from Chris Paluti, excuse me. And the question is, could anyone speak to the Latin languages class, either from personal experience or secondhand? Thanks so much.
I took a Latin course my first year here. It was a visiting professor, so I don't really know how the department itself without visiting professors works. But I think overall I enjoyed the class. First semester was so much easier than second semester. But I enjoyed it, and they do offer AT sessions for Latin. It's not as intensive.
What are AT sessions?
Apprentice teachers, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I know you're AT.
So what do you do there?
Well, if you need help with homework, or need help with translating or anything else regarding the Latin language, you can go to AT sessions and your AT will help you. Latin is an intensive language, so the AT sessions aren't, they aren't as required as it is for modern language such as Spanish, Italian, and all the other, I think 9 modern languages we offer here. But I enjoy Latin for the most part. Towards the end of second semester, I was ready for it to be over, but that's how I feel about the end of every semester.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So what else is there to do besides the rigorous academic program that KEEP definitely provides for you all? Like, what else did y'all do in the summer that you enjoyed and that you look forward to, that you even think back on even now as a sophomore or current first year?
Oh, wow. There's a lot of activities outside of like the workshops. I mean, I enjoyed a lot of the educational workshops, the ones about like talking about diversity and different social topics that I didn't know or like experience where I grew up. Like for instance, I never even heard of cultural appropriation until I came here, and that was very educational because I was just like, whoa, I come from a very small town in Ohio and not very diverse at all. So that was very eye-opening, and they called them workshops, but I had a good time, so I didn't seem like much work for me. And then there were the few trips we took, like the one to Cedar Point.
What's Cedar Point?
Oh, I guess if you're not from Ohio, Cedar Point is this amazing amusement park in Toledo. Is it Toledo? No,
it's Sandusky.
Sandusky. Okay. I don't know. I'm not good with that.
A couple hours away. It's around the way.
But it was a good time.
Mm-hmm. What about y'all know? And so Lanice is she's a sophomore?
I'm a sophomore.
So summer 2014, and then we have first years from summer 2015. What were some of the things that you did during your year, Lanice?
I'm actually going to reflect on both years since I was here over the summer and I got to meet the KEEP class of 2015. Oh, yeah. So during my summer, we were really, really active, which it was really weird. We were always energized, always ready to do things. And a lot of us in the writing classes, we lived in Lentz, which is the building we're in now. Like we would bring our food back here and eat. And so for breaks, we would find just dance videos online on YouTube, and we would dance along to them. And so there were like some dances we always did. And like sometimes we could like repeat them if we really remember them. And I remember during the school year, Just Dance had like this app where like your phone was the controller. And I texted my friend and he came over and we like tried to do it, but our phones weren't syncing enough and we got really frustrated because we were like, oh my God, if this was out during KEEP, we would have like been killing the game with Just Dance. We could have actually been taking score and, like all these other things. And I think when I was here for their KEEP class, I just really enjoyed hanging out with them.
They're kind of cool, y'all.
Kind of, emphasis on kind of. I don't know. I think I really enjoyed going to Mohican with them because, which is like it's a, I guess adventure place. They have like canoeing and like high ropes and putt and all these other things. And I think what I really enjoyed about it is that I got to know a lot of the students on that trip because we didn't know how to get out of the river. So we rode it all the way to the end. Yeah. And when we got off, Monique was like, there were stops along the way. We're like, well, we didn't see them. And like, we couldn't even navigate to get over there because we almost like missed the stop to get off. And we're like, oh my God, we're going to be in this river for forever.
Same. I had the same experience. Once we got there, they were like, oh, you can do rafting, and then it should take like an hour, and then you can do rock climbing, and then you can go play go-karts. We're like, oh yeah, sure. So like we did the rafting first. We were on there for over 3 hours.
Yes.
Like we had no idea what we were. And then once we got off, because we didn't have our phones with us because we thought they were gonna get wet, we got off and we asked somebody, what time is it? And they were like, and it was like 5 to 10 minutes before we had to leave. We're like, whoa, we need to get on the next bus right now. So I don't know, it was just a really like nice bonding experience with all the different KEEP students.
So in these, we have about 4 minutes left. And so if you have any questions, again, go ahead and go to Twitter and send us a message at Kenyon Admission. But I want to go through, and I want to start with Professor Garcia, Simon Garcia, and tell me what's one memorable moment or one thing that you love about KEEP. Any one of those, and then just follow through with whoever wants to answer next.
For the last 8 years, let's see. One memorable moment. I think it's the presentations. So this is for the summer experience. We have, at least in the data analysis course, we do a lot of oral presentation. I know that sounds scary to some people, but who have stage fright, but actually that should be less scary when you think about the fact that you get to practice it every day before you actually get onto campus and then have to do it without practice. So one of my favorite projects is when students take this enormous data set that one of my colleagues in political science has assembled. It's a data set that basically looks at the representation in state legislatures of women by state. And it has about 150 other variables about each state. So just all these, yeah, you're remembering it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All these things, he's like, high school completion rate, level of education, number of restrictive abortion laws. I mean, there's just like every little thing that you could classify about a state, it's in there. And basically students just open up this table and the professor says, go to town. No, she doesn't just say that. She does give a tutorial and some advice on how to do it. But over the next 2 weeks, the students put together a presentation. So they do some data analysis, they test some hypotheses, and then they get to present it in front of a panel of faculty who happen to be here during the summer and who are not paid to do this, have no incentive really to do this except for the fact that they love to see what students can accomplish on their own. And so, I mean, those are kind of like my proudest moments is when I get to see a class of students just go up with nice presentations. Sometimes they're like PowerPoint, sometimes they're Prezi, and then start speaking, with confidence about some pretty advanced ideas in political science, political theory about representation. So that's the experience that jumps out to me the most.
Absolutely.
I have more, but I don't want to get to the other questions.
Yeah. So in this last minute, if you three could share briefly, what are some of the most memorable moments? And if we don't get to you all, I do apologize. And you out there, if you have questions, again, tweet us and we'll be able to respond to those later in the week.
Oh, for me, it was probably with Jonathan. We just stayed up one night. We were trying to go to bed, like brushing our teeth, and we started talking. Before we knew it, it was like 7 o'clock and some other kid walked out, so we went to breakfast.
Yeah,
it's crazy. We were so exhausted.
One of my memorable experiences is probably the talent show. At first, because it was probably like early on in the experience, so we weren't really comfortable with everyone. But just having people like, it wasn't even a sign up list. It was just like, okay, guys, whoever wants to go up there. At first, it was complete silence, and then somebody's like, okay, I'm going, and then they're just like, it goes from like playing a guitar to singing to just dancing. So I just getting to know like everybody's like personalities and how open they are about like who they are, and just getting to know the real them was probably like one of the best experience I got from KEEP.
I'm just going to say my whole KEEP experience was the best experience. Just because I don't know, I would cry sometimes about the work, but I don't, that's not a bad thing. Sometimes you need a good cry to figure out what you're writing about.
And Lanice is a crier.
You don't have to look at it. But sometimes you need to cry to figure out what you're writing about. I remember the first time I had to like present in our writing class. I was like one of the first people to do like a critical analysis. I've never done one of these things in my life. And I'm like sitting here like crying, hunched over a book. And then my tear dropped. And I looked and it was like, this is Lenny's, this is what you should do. And I did it. And it was like, oh, you did great. I was like, oh, thank you. So I had to cry to figure out what I was going to do. But it's also balanced out by a lot of like fun times with friends.
Definitely. Well, we want to thank you all for coming out tonight. We want to thank our academic director, Professor Simon Garcia, Professor Yvonne Garcia for sharing her class, our students who are present, our admission support staff. And if you have any questions, just please let us know. And if you haven't already, apply to KEEP.
Bye.